Imagine a hard-boiled detective novel, a segregated Narnia, and an emerging steampunk era all walked into a bar and only one of them walked out. That's my new book, Boiled Cabbage, Book 1 in the GearLock Series, and it drops March 2nd. This book has everything: mystery, grit, questionable life choices, and a protagonist who's just trying to survive in a world that wants to keep him down. So I wrote Boiled Cabbage for anyone who's ever felt like they're living in a noir story but forgot to bring the trench coat. It's absurd, it's emotional, it's funny, and somehow it's one of the most honest things I've ever made. You keep me sane, buddy. The book drops March 2nd, the audiobook too, though it might not be on Audible yet. You should be able to find it almost anywhere else audiobooks are sold. You'll definitely find it on Spotify, so check it out if that's your thing. And if you want to support indie storytelling, weird fiction, or just me trying to make art that doesn't fit into a box, grab it on release day and leave a review. It really, really helps me get noticed. Hey everybody, I thought I'd do something just a little bit different today, so I just wanted to give you all an update. So for a lot of my last few videos, you've probably noticed that I've been interviewing a lot of other people who are either writers, who are into film, or who have different specialities that might help you as a creator also. Now, being a creative is kind of hard because, it doesn't always pay the bills very well. I've noticed this a lot in my own life, but kind of what I've done is I've approached it a little bit differently, and I've tried to set things up so that I could have income streams coming to me even if my art wasn't really supporting itself. And I'm just trying to put everything out there so that you can probably maybe learn something from me and from other people's experiences that will help you also find that financial stability as you live more of a creative life. So let me tell you a little bit about where I am, where I'm going, and kind of how I'm doing that. I'm not going to take too much time, but I want to at least let you know, it's sort of for an update for any of those who know me, and also is just kind of a prelude to some of the things that I want to help you guys understand. So first of all, if you don't know, I have a few books published. I have One for the Money, Two for the Soul. This is my book it's probably my debut novel as my own self. I used to publish some other books under a different pen name, but this is the first one that I published under my name. One for the Money, Two for the Soul. It's a fun, zany read. All my reads are clean reads, which means, or at least to me, that means no sexual content and very little, if any, foul language. So there's that. And then I also dropped this one earlier in the year, right at the beginning of the year, actually. This one is Swing Low, Hangman of the Woods. Now, this one, I actually did this one under a different pen name when I was first starting, and it wasn't all that good. But recently I found a better way to make it sound good, and so I rewrote it. I think it's an amazing book now. You're going to love it. The one that I've got coming out this week, or in a couple of days, March 2nd, 2026, Boiled Cabbage, Book 1 of the GearLock Series. Now, I'm really excited about this one, and I hope that you guys are too, and I would encourage you all to run out to grab a copy of this. You can get it really cheap if you're reading on a Kindle or anything like that. The ebook is only like $1.99. Totally doable. Please read it, and if you like it, leave a comment, leave a message, leave a review somewhere. Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Facebook, I don't really care. It helps me out so much if you like this and you leave a review. If I can get up to 50 reviews, then it it suddenly gets me noticed by all the algorithms, and it's just super helpful. So give this one a try, Hard-Boiled Cabbage. Uh, if you like that old detective noir type of a feel, the shadows, the mystery, whatever, this is for you. Also, if you like fantasy, this is for you. It's really just a fun, kind of like Narnia, if Narnia was in a Dick Tracy movie or something like that. So, anyhow, give it a try. Next, I have, just by way of update, some of the other things I'm working on. I am I'm currently editing the second book in this series. I plan on this being a 6-book series, okay? So if you like this, you'll have plenty more to go to afterwards. I'm also doing a standalone right now. It's going to be called The Blasting Nuisance, and I'm not going to give too much away about it right now. Suffice it to say, it's going to be fun, it's going to be crazy, and yeah, I'm excited for it, but yeah, I'm still on the rough draft phase of that one. I'm hoping to get that done within the next month or two, and then to go through the many rounds of editing. Usually it takes me about 12 rounds of editing because I'm not really all that good at it. My first draft is throw up on paper, and then I hone it some more, then I send it to editors, and then I rewrite it, and then it takes me a little while to get to something that I feel like you would enjoy. So I hope that you guys will enjoy that. That's forthcoming. The next thing that I have going on is something called The Sermon. I'm not sure if that'll be the final name of it. It might be. So this is actually an adaptation of Moby Dick's sermon. So there's a guy in there named Father Maple, and he gives a really awesome speech, about Jonah and the whale. And every time I read that, it just fills my imagination, and I'm like, you know what? I want to make a short film based entirely off of this sermon, and I think that it's going to be really fun. It's going to actually be bigger than most short films. It's going to be my most ambitious project ever, and I'm in pre-production of it right now, and my guess is it's going to be over 30 minutes long. So this isn't just some 5-minute or 10-minute short film. This is almost like a full TV series length. I'm guessing it'll be, in the end, probably between 35 and 45 minutes long. And it should still be really good. I'm hoping that it'll be film festival worthy and that I can shop it around there. But that is currently what I'm working on right now. I've storyboarded everything out now. I've been sourcing props. I've been sourcing different things. I put budgets together on it. And actually, this next week, I'm going to be starting probably not next week because I've got other things going, but probably in about 2 weeks, I'm going to start building the sets for this, and there's actually going to be quite a bit of set work to build because I've got to build a ship, an old sailing ship. I've got to build a wharf, with the docks and things, and I've got to build a chapel that they would have gone into, or at least in my mind, what it would have been like. So that's going to be really fun. It's going to be crazy. It'll be a little bit expensive, probably the most expensive thing I've attempted so far, but I think I'm going to put everything that I've learned into it and make it really qualitative. And so I'm excited to share that with you as I get moving along, and I'll try to post behind-the-scenes videos on that. I'll try to post different things along the way as I do that. And then I also do have a feature-length film that I'm working on. And I don't know if you've checked out my friends over at OBA, One Brilliant Arc. They've been helping me edit my screenplay. I've sent them... So on their videos, or on their podcast, we actually went through a few minutes of it, and they helped show a sample of what they do. But then afterwards, we went through and I actually paid them to do a full-on edit of it, and that turned out really well. We ended up coming up with some really great ideas. This movie is going to be just so awesome. I can't wait to finish the screenplay of it, and then we'll start going into pre-production on that. And when I say we, I mean me, because I'm a solo operation here, but it will be a collaborative effort because I'm bringing in people. I'm going to make this as good as it can be for an independent film. But here's the thing. How do I pay for all of this stuff? And how do you pay for your creative ventures? I don't care what those ventures are. I don't care if it's writing. Writing costs money too, especially if you're trying to do it full time. If you're filmmaking, if you're painting, dancing. I mean, there's so many ways that we can be creative, but oftentimes that creativity doesn't really pay the bills, at least not at first. So how do we do this? Now, there's a few ways we can do it, and I've shared some of this. We've talked about some of this in our conversations with past guests. Sometimes people find that it's good to wait until they retire, and that's one avenue to do it. I personally don't want to wait that long. I'm in my 40s, and I don't want to wait another 20 years to start following my dreams. And I imagine that you're probably in a similar situation. I don't know how old you are. Maybe you're just out of high school. Maybe you're my age, or maybe you are just retiring. But the thing is, putting off your dreams kind of is stifling in a way, and it's not very helpful to your creativity. On the other hand, still being out in the world, contributing to society, working and things, that helps you financially, and it also builds up some, I guess, mental reserves or some knowledge reserves. It helps you see the world, gives you experiences you can draw on for your creativity. So there's a couple ways that I like to think about this, and for me, this is the way that I did it. And if you've watched any of my episodes, you know that I spent about 10 years working on, basically working on a plan to leave my job in the construction industry and move into writing and filmmaking. Now, when I was doing that, I didn't know a lot about finance. I didn't know a lot about storytelling. I mean, I had a little bit of knowledge. Like, I did go and get a degree in finance. That helped me out a lot. It gave me my first inklings, my start into the financial world. I also only wrote my first book as a way to try to help supplant my or subsidize my income, because I was making only like $45,000 a year. Had a wife, a kid, was living in a really cheap ghetto type of a place, and I wanted more for them. And found out, though, that selling art is hard. So the books that I wrote back then didn't really sell all that well, but also they cost me money. And so that was kind of hard, but it was a wake up. But it was a wake up in two different ways. One, it let me know that making money off of writing was not likely to be any big boon for me. It also let me know that my craft needed to be improved, but that I did want to improve it. It became an addiction almost. I needed to write after that. And so that's when I put together my 10-year plan. I said, I'm going to learn how to up my skills as a storyteller, and then I'm going to learn how to up my knowledge on finance so that in 10 years, I don't have to be swinging a hammer anymore. I can make a transition into writing. A few years down the road from there, I ended up also falling in love with independent film, and I thought, you know what? Why just write a book when I can turn it into a visual format also? So that was kind of my path, and over the years, I've increased my storytelling ability a lot, and I'm still working on that. And then I also learned how money works. And this is one of those things that I would strongly urge you guys to learn, is learn money. I know that it might seem a little daunting, especially if you come from a family where maybe money was really tight your whole life. It's not something that has to be a mystery to everybody, okay? It's something that you can learn and you can actually get a grasp on and have it work for you. So, for instance, like, when I was making $45,000 a year, I was squirreling away a lot of that money and investing it. And I was also working on my skills as a contractor and eventually a property developer. And so that helped me a lot. But the thing is anytime I got a raise or a price increase, I did not spend it. I put it right back into my investments. I put it right back into things that would help grow my future income. So I would strongly suggest that you look into how you spend your money. If you get a raise, what do you do with that raise? For the first several years, during this whole 10-year thing, everybody in my family used to call me the frugal one because we did everything on the cheap. For Christmas, we just went and cut off a few branches off of a fallen pine tree, and we used that as our Christmas tree. I think we also gave ourselves like a $25 or $50 budget for Christmas altogether. We were just super frugal with all of our money, and everything that we saved up, we invested, and eventually those investments help us to make more money, gave us ownership of the company, the family company I was working for, allowed me to start making some real money through profit sharing. And at the time, I was also learning about the stock market and how that could be invested in or traded, and then your interest could be compounded through that. And there was a lot of things that I learned in that 10 years that I hope you guys will learn. But that's probably, and I don't know, and I'd love you to leave comments in the messages in the comments below and let me know kind of where you're at, because I can start really basic. I can talk about really simple financial things to start out with and help you guys get a good feel for just the basic building blocks of your knowledge. Or if you're already a little familiar with things, then we could talk about more advanced ways of making money. I just don't know where you guys are at and what you would like to see. My inclination is to start simple and work my way up, and then as you follow along, you can build your financial knowledge along with me. But yeah, I would love to share with you some of those tips and tricks that I've learned. Obviously, none of it's financial. You have to disclaimer, this is for entertainment purposes, whatever. But really, I do think these kind of things will help you guys out a lot if that's something you're interested in. Anyhow, that's my update for now. I didn't have a big, huge production thing going on today. I just wanted to let you know where I was at on things and hopefully maybe connect with some of you and see where you're at on your things, and maybe we could help you out or you could help me out. Or we could just kind of work together and build a community of people who are trying to make it work as a creative. Anyhow, don't forget, I do have a podcast. You can check out my podcast. It's just the Light-Minded Arts Podcast. It's anywhere you get podcasts, whether it's Apple, Spotify, it's everywhere. And also, if you want, you can go to my website, lightmindedarts.com. You can find all of my books there, including some books by some other people that I've worked with in the past that, my wife's got some children's books in there, and I think my sister-in-law's got a couple of books in there. So yeah, I've got a few books on my website too. I also have a running blog in there, which if you're into that, you can check that out. You can check me out on Facebook. Follow me at lightmindedarts.com, or not Lightminded Arts, the Facebook thing. I'm not very good with social media, but hey. So anyhow, that's all for now. I look forward to hearing from you guys, seeing comments, and sharing my journey as we get going. I'll have more interviews coming up in the next few weeks, and I think some of those will be really informative. I've got a guy next week who is an expert on dyslexia. He actually schooled me pretty good. I didn't include it in the YouTube videos, but if you go to the podcast, you can hear him just totally making me sound like an idiot because compared to him, I was an idiot. And even though he could only read at a first grade reading level, he really schooled me. So, and that was really fun and exciting. I really enjoyed my conversation with him. So, it doesn't matter where you're at. If you want to be a creative, there's a way to make it work. And sometimes it takes a little bit to get there, but I want to help you find your way there too. And I'll see you later.